I know what some of you might be thinking. Again? As the Yamanote line takes off from Yurakucho Station right there. It was announced just a couple of days ago that JR, Japan Rail, Higashi Nihon is going to be increasing prices on the Yamanote line, among other lines, mostly commuter lines here in Tokyo. And this change is going over the entire country as Japan Rail adjusts for not the number of tourists coming in. This has nothing to do with that, but this has mostly to do with the declining population. There's just not enough riders to make up the costs anymore. They've got to raise the price. I think it was the first time in like 30 years or something. So it's a pretty significant period of time since the last time they raised the prices. I think there was a price change on the Yamanote line. I think it used to be the cheapest ticket 130 yen when I first came here. So there has been some price increases, very incremental, but this seems like the biggest across the board price increase for a very long time. But it's still like a ridiculously cheap ticket for tourists that are coming here to Japan. But for Japanese, we're going to feel this quite a bit because the wages have not been going up. Let me just show you here. And also there's one other thing I want to talk about. There was a big change to the much beloved Seishun Jihachi Keep that happened a couple of months ago that I did not talk about. And this one really does impact me amongst other people. So we're going to talk about this as well. Let's go over what the price increases here. So according to the news here, the tickets are going to go up. It says it's going to start in 2026. So it's not like a thing that's big news, but well, it is big news, but I want it to be in your mind because a lot of you are planning your trips in the future. I don't think it's going to make a big dent for tourists. Maybe it's something that you want to consider because the information is going to change. This is in Japanese because I haven't seen anything in English yet, but going from Tokyo Station to Ueno, it would cost 200 yen. The ticket price is going to increase by 30 yen. If you're going from Tokyo Station on the Yamanote line to Shibuya, it's going to increase by 50 yen. To Shinjuku, Shibuya, 50 yen. That's a longer trip around, so the price increases there. I think it was like an 8% increase on the price of the tickets. You can see Shimbashi, which is just, I think it was like one station. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 stations where we get Tokyo, Yurakucho, Shimbashi. Okay, 2 stations away. The price is 160 yen. It goes up 10 yen to 170 yen. It's not really that big of a deal for tourists, I think. Now on the Chuo line, which is the one that cuts across the city, the Yamanote line, the green one that you see behind me, goes around the city. This one, the price increases are a lot more here. From Tokyo Station to Shinjuku, it's a 50 yen increase, the same as the Yamanote. But to Kichijoji, it's 440 yen or a 30 yen increase. That's not as much. That's a little bit odd. Then Tachikawa, a 60 yen. Hachioji, which is further out, going west to the Tokyo mountains, 80 yen. To Mount Takao, Takao-san, it's a 1,040 yen, but a 90 yen increase. It's going to be Otsuki, which is 1,600 yen, which is even further out there near Yamanashi. That's 80 yen, or that is Yamanashi. And Fuchu, I believe, is 2,420 yen. That's 110 yen increase. So it's like really small, but if you are traveling quite a bit on local lines, it's going to add up quite quickly. And this might be something that throws you over the top between buying a day pass and then buying the tickets one by one. That's another thing. Tokyo does have day passes for the JR network. This price increase, again, like there's so many JR companies. JR Higashi Nihon is JR East. JR East is Tokyo and the Tohoku region going up. The Shinkansen running down. There's Tokyo, Shinagawa, and maybe Yokohama. That might be JR East. And then it turns to JR Central, which is the rest of the line. It's a little complicated. But JR East probably makes the most money out of all of them, basically out of Tokyo. But I have friends who work in JR, and many of them have told me that they don't make much money from the commuter rail lines, the 150, 200 yen tickets. They're not looking, they make a lot more money from the businesses around it. And I'm fascinated by JR, not by just the trains, but how they build their business around the stations. They have convenience stores. They have the Newsday. I don't know if you guys know about that. They have restaurants. They have like all sorts of services, travel services now, highway buses. They built a business around the train station, so they're going to make money. Now they're going into inbound tourism, so I'm happy to help them with that. I'm happy to, I really am, I'm just doing some episodes with them. But I think overall though, the most money that they make is from the Shinkansen. So we had a price increase about 2 years ago, announced 2 years ago, that was pretty significant for you, and that price is staying the same. So not to worry about that. These price increases do make a big deal when you are coming into Tokyo, when you are traveling abroad. So here's the vending machine as it is in 2024, December. That's 150 yen for a ticket. This is the basic ticket. That's going to go up to, I think it was 170 yen or something like that. It's funny, I think the IC price might be more expensive. It's at 160 yen, but the cheapest price available is 150 yen. It's interesting, right? I took a picture of the network here. So according to this, if you buy a ticket from Tokyo Station and you're going to Shimbashi, it's 150 yen. It's just 2 stops. Going north, 3 stops is 170 yen. So after 2 stops, it gets quite, well, it gets a little bit more expensive. It's still like peanut change. But if you go to cut across the Shinjuku, it gets a 210 yen. And then once you get out into the countryside, it keeps on escalating, as you can see, based on distance, which is fascinating. A lot of you might not be able to read the kanji. It's Yurakucho, which is where I am, is the one that's in the red box in the station. Right above that with 150 in there is Tokyo. And above that, in the next box, is Akihabara. And then the next box above that, 170 yen, is Ueno. To the right of that is Kinshicho. And to the left of that is Shinjuku on the other side of the circle. That's the Japanese kanji. It's good to know this kind of stuff when you come here. All right. There'll be more information on this, and we'll talk about it too. You can see this is actually a live stream here, so interesting stuff. The next thing I want to talk about, which impacts me more than you perhaps, but this is the pass that is so beloved, is the Seishun Shachi Keep right here. This comes from NHK. This is an old school one. I love it because they stamp the heck out of it sometimes, and it's so colorful. It's like a passport. It's basically a local train ticket. It's a ticket for local trains only, no Shinkansen or express trains. You can't upgrade or anything off of this ticket. It's here listed as 12,050 yen, which is like $78. I'm trying to think of the exchange rate. This is from 2021. That is so ridiculous. For 5 days of non-consecutive unlimited travel within those 5 days that you choose, or 5 people for 1 day, or 1 person for 5 days. It was so flexible. It's called the Seishun Juhachi Keep, which is the 18 ticket, like the youth 18 ticket, but you don't have to be a youth to take it. Anybody can take this if you want to go for an adventure. Local trains are awesome. You really start to see the culture out there when you ride the Seishun Juhachi Keep. But it's changed now. So we see here, let's look at the validity for what this ticket was. They did it 3 times a year. Spring, they would sell it from March 1st to April 10th and would be on sale from February 20th to March 31st, and the valid to use from March 1st to April 10th. You see summer from July 20th to September 10th, sold July 1st to August 31st. I always loved going into September because after the summer period, the trains weren't as crowded, so I'd be riding my 5 days then. Well, winter was December, so the winter one's going on right now. Winter usage, oh no, in a couple of days, December 10th to January 10th, but I'm not even sure that they even have it now. It's kind of a sad thing here, and according to the internet, like, this is huge news to me. On October 24th, 2024, the ticket's conditions were use were changed for the first time since 1984. Okay, it was the Seishun Juhachi Keep. The new tickets are valid for 5 consecutive days only. Consecutive stinks. That means you can't break up your trip and still use the pass. Cannot be shared between multiple people. That's a big killer because you get 5 friends on 1 day. That was always nice. And you can now be used to pass through the automatic ticket gate, so you don't get stamped at the exit by the station master, which is kind of sad. The 5-day ticket price remained the same as before, and a new 3-day variant also has been made available for 10,000 yen. So they raised the price. So it was 12,000 yen for 5 days. Now it's 3 days for 10,000 yen. It's still cheap, 3,333 yen a day. That's pretty cheap, but it's not, I mean, it's not consecutive, which means like you have to use it. But the 3-day pass maybe makes up for it. You just get another one, then you got 6 days. But then you get a day you don't need. This pass would end up at those discounted ticket offices, which are also like pawn shops sometimes, where you could see like 2 days were used and there's 1 day remaining and you can get a discount somebody sold their ticket for like 1,000 yen and they're selling it for 1,500 yen, and the ticket resellers would make 500 yen on that extra day. You can't do that anymore because apparently they're also like have your name on it and they're interchangeable. You got to pick it up at the window and you have to register your name. I don't know how they check, but like they kind of want to lock you into this stuff. And I guess it makes sense. They're trying to make money and all that. They don't make a lot off of the local train network. Places like JR Hokkaido are losing money. There's just so many fewer travelers than there were 20 years ago, than there were 5 years ago. There's the Keihin Tohoku line, which is going to be more expensive. But I'm glad that they have the trains running so frequently and so often in Tokyo. I can understand the price increase. And in the whole scheme of things, it's not very much. I know that the tickets are 130 yen, so this price increase probably happened about 10 years ago or something for the local ticket trains. But this is the most significant one that's across the board. So you're going to feel it. The thing is that Japanese wages haven't really increased much. So we're seeing commuter passes also go up. Let me take you, and there's a Shinkansen going through. Up above, you can see it on the other side. It goes a lot slower right around here as it makes its way into Tokyo Station. But these changes are all significant. They all have an impact, and the more that they chip away with the amount of disposable money that you have on your trip, the more it takes away from other stuff. And you know, Japan's still a pretty darn cheap destination, if you ask me, and I'm pretty happy that they're still keeping it that way. The price increase for tourists probably not going to impact you much. I think that maybe it's going to cost you a few dollars more in the whole scheme of things. Look what you walk into the stations, you can see they're selling products now, like a JR. Seishun. They're selling products like a shopping mall from a vending machine. They also have these booths where you could work. That's all JR run. They have lockers in here. They're all making money, vending machines. So they find ways to make money out of this business, which is amazing. They charge rent for the businesses that are here. And then you have places like this right here. One of the reasons I wanted to bring you here, Newsday is a convenience store that's just for, that's run by JR. They used to have a place called Becker's, which was a hamburger cafe place. That was also run by JR. And there's the ticket booth right there. And you can see the prices on that board is going to change. Maybe they don't raise the prices too often because they have to change all of the boards across the entire city. And these vending machines, you can see not a lot of people are using them at all. They're not really used because everybody has IC cards. They're used more for charging, and charging spots are in convenience stores, and they're all over the place now. For Suica, it doesn't matter. You can use your Suica card in other areas of Japan, and you can use other area cards in Tokyo. You can charge them interchangeably. It doesn't really matter so much. But yeah, all these businesses underneath here have to pay rent to JR, and that's pretty interesting stuff. All right, everybody, I hope that this news this news is a little bit shocking to me because it's like prices going up again, but prices are always going to go up again, and I can just hope that we also make more money too, so we can pay for these price increases. John is helping out from his trunk here. I have fond memories using the Seishun Keep. I traveled a month across Japan using them, having an IC card availability gone back to normal. Yeah, I think we can go, John, you know what? Let's go check it out right now. I'm pretty sure you can get IC cards. You see tourists leaving their bags outside, which is pretty normal in Tokyo. I don't think you can't do that in New York City. Let me see here. Let me change it to English for you. Yeah, it's fine. Purchase new Suica. We're good. You got to get your name on there though. You can put your name in here. Am I male or female? How dare you? Okay, I guess you don't even have to put in your real name. Anyways, that should answer your question. We have IC cards. I don't know, YouTubers still making videos about that. It's kind of been a non-news item for a while, but now it's confirmed. I have done it. There's a garden up there, which is kind of neat. There's nobody up there, but you get a chance to see the Shinkansen much clearer up there on the deck above here. I didn't even know about that for a long time, and then I saw it on Google Earth. All right, everybody, take care. I'll see you in another live stream real soon. Thanks, Chan. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Tell me about your experience with the Seishun Jachikip. If you don't know this ticket, you don't have to get a JR Rail Pass. Yeah, you can use the Shinkansen, but there's something really special about taking a local pass. Maybe buy a ticket to a region of Japan on the Shinkansen, and then use this pass to get around locally. Maybe make some extra time for it, but riding the train in itself, take a book, look out the window, get a bento. It's part of the culture, and it's a way for you to see the countryside as it rolls past the window. I love it. It's very cool. You can get a beer and drink it on the train out in the countryside as well if you want to. Just make sure you don't drink too much. You know, consider the other people around you. And that's it. All right, everybody. See you in another live stream tomorrow. Take you to another place around the country or here in Tokyo. Mata ne. That's a bakery.